The Labour Party's growth plan, what they call its Green Prosperity Plan, is also under quite a lot of pressure. And their sums don't really add up because Jeremy Hunt did what we predicted he was going to do, which is he spent all of the headroom so that debt is just falling, national debt's just falling, and he spent it on his tax cut, which Labour are going to vote for today in the House of Commons, the National Insurance cut. And that means that they don't have any way to fund the £28 billion Green Prosperity Plan, which they announced at the party conference last year. They've already watered down the timing of when they say they're going to pay it, but they still have not found any way to make the sums add up. And Peter Kyle, who's a big star in the shadow cabinet, the shadow industry secretary, on the TV this morning, he was struggling to explain how he's going to pay for his warm homes plan to insulate millions of homes because Labour have started to spend the £28 billion. They've gone around saying we're going to spend the money on offshore wind farms and doing up ports. The £600 million is going to go to local authorities, £2 billion on a battery plant. They're spending the money and they haven't found a way yet to explain how they're going to pay for it. Are they going to raise taxes? Are they going to cut spending elsewhere? Or are they going to borrow more? And at the moment, it's a bit of a sitting target. If I was doing my old job as Shadow Chancellor, I'd be saying, I'm a year out from an election, I can still fix this, but I need to start fixing it fast, because if the Conservatives do get their act together, if they do focus on the economy, they will start to deliver a laser focus on this hole in the Labour spending plan.
This is a classic dilemma of being an opposition politician, because in government you can announce something in a budget and then you can do another budget a year later or 2 years later. But in opposition, once you say something, it's there and it's quite hard to resolve from it. And the 28 billion was said by Rachel Reeves, the Shadow Chancellor, a couple of years ago when there was less expectation of a Labour government. And as she's become closer to the election, more of a focus on, well, how do those sums add up? And as we predicted on this podcast a few weeks ago, Jeremy Hunt was always going to try and squeeze her room for manoeuvre as much as he possibly could. I think what she's saying is that the priority is getting the national debt to fall before any extra borrowing to pay for this green investment plan. And therefore, of the 28 billion, if she could only afford 1 billion and meet her fiscal rule, that's all she's going to do. And that does leave a kind of question, what's the growth plan? Absolutely. But